Okay, today is Tuesday. It's 2:44 a.m. It is December 23rd. I've been on this journey for 5 years now, and I know people who are profitable, but I am not one of them. Okay, I would love to say that I was profitable when I was trading small, and I know how to do it that way. But what I have been trying to do at this stage was to see if I can make it faster. And that has been, I mean, since, what is that, like September now? So September, October, November. So it's been 3 months, almost 4 months now. 4 months I've been trying to get this 10K challenge passed. And I've been working on this single 10K challenge for a month. And I am now down to 2%. Okay, I'm now down to 2%. I managed to remove 3.5% today, uh, with the last 30 minutes of just essentially losing it. Okay. My biggest problem, the biggest challenge of my trading are a couple of things. Okay. The biggest problem, so there's three of them, three biggest problems, which stems from actually not having a formalized, uh, a proven strategy. That's why. Okay. It all boils down to that. Okay. I have to admit that 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 there are people who are far brighter that I know who now is successful, but I'm not. Okay. And in order for me to be profitable, in order for me to be profitable, I have to do a few things. But right now, um, so uh, so here's the situation. I could take this trade right now. I could take this trade, but and it's about to take off. It is definitely about to take off, but the market condition is the market condition is very interesting at this stage. Market is very interesting. See the way that it's moving up, like that was a big return here, and then now it's going back up. After it, after, oh shoot, after it had taken everything, now it's moving back up. So, um, so now I'm in the situation of moving forward. Okay. Uh, it is a very very difficult situation. It's a journey. It's a personal journey. People will be laughing. People will be judging. I've been on this journey for 5 years, and people will not believe me. Uh, people will think that uh, people will think that I'm wasting my time. Um, People will think that I'm wasting my time, but I pray God gives me this opportunity, because what else am I going to do, really? I still have another 5 years of probation left. Okay, I still have another 5 years of probation. Okay, which means that I got to do something. I have to do something. But if I, but I'm realistically thinking about my current predicament. Okay, so I'm laying it out. Uh, I'm I just lost control, and I lost 3.5%. Okay, today, it's just I just lost 3.5%, and somehow I stopped. I stopped myself because I know that 2% right now that I have is 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 keeping me from spending another $66 in order to get another challenge going. Okay, it's $66, and me, uh, right now, uh, $66 is a full day of work. Okay, it's a full day of work. Okay, the way that it's scheduled out, it's a full day of work, right? So, so what am I getting at? So the main point of this is this. Okay, I am infinitely grateful of Regis. I sent I sent them an email saying, "Look, I'm a convicted felon for grand theft. I am a homeless person. I live out of my car. I have a job as a prep cook, okay? And right now, I have absolutely no place to go, okay? And what makes it even harder is like the holidays when the market is closed and I have to figure something out what to do, right? So, so that's the current situation, right? But I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate. I don't know whether I'll ever figure this out. I'll ever figure this out. But as of today, what I plan to do is essentially uh, create a recipe. Okay, I need to create a recipe. I'm all over the place because I haven't formalized a specific recipe for a specific situation, right? So what I noticed about today is that this is today is a very trendy kind of a day. Today is a very trendy kind of a day because the most likely the volume is going to be low because everybody is on vacation because it's a Christmas holiday and not many people are trading the market, and that's why it moves, and so you can lose a lot and you can make a lot, right? So that's what I found out. Losing 3.5% is is a traumatic situation. So now, so what am I getting at? What am I getting at? Okay, so I'm all over the place right now because I'm like, whoa, what just happened? What just happened? I just lost 3.5%, and I just started trading like a maniac, and I just proceeded to just give it away, but I stopped myself because I see the value of $66 that it's going to cost me to buy another challenge if I blow this challenge. But I still have 2% left. Okay, I still have a 2.1% left. Okay, that I can use to get it back, but it's going to be a long ways back. Okay, it's a long ways back. So with this platform funding pips, it's going to be 8% uh, profit. Now that I'm down 8%, I got to make 16% in order to pass. That's going to take a long time. Okay, it's going to take a very, very long time making incremental progress from 200 to 250, from 250 to 300, from 350 to 400. So I got to make incremental progress without losing control, and it has to work. And what I've also saw, what I did was I could have just lost $10, but again I allowed the trade to go all the way because it just I was not able to utilize that stop loss that I had in mind. Okay, it's still something very new to me, even though I've been doing it for 5 years. Okay, so now I'm at the prospects of the holidays rolling in, and then I'm going to be sitting here and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And so what I need to do is create a list of recipe. Uh, yeah, it's essentially a setup, and setup are different scenarios that I'm gonna make it work. Okay, I have to make this work. Okay, the only way for me to get any type of respect from life is to make this thing work. Now, if I fail, then I fail. It might take a very, very long time for me to figure this out. But if I don't figure this out, it's the same as failing. So I might as well keep trying. And and I am very, very thankful, and I pray that they still allow me to do this, because I'm going to be very productive in what I'm going to be doing right now. Okay, so I see what's missing in my trading. Okay, I see what's missing in my trading. Had I belonged to some sort of a peer group, uh, peer group, and then the peer group is constructive in figuring out what needs to be done, okay, in a manner that's not ego busting, then I would be able to figure things out much faster, because I know what needs to occur. So what I noticed is that the market is so dynamic. It is very, very dynamic. It displays a very, very different type of situation from day to day to day. Okay? It has a very, very different dynamics. What I've seen, which blows my mind, is that prior to the holiday, on the holiday weekend, it tends to be, based on a Google search, it is very, very, it's a big trendy day. And sometimes maybe it's not a good idea to trade on that day, right? Also, when there are macroeconomic news that are there, that will cause the market to behave in a certain way. And the same type of setups will behave in a very different way. At the least, the way that it moves is going to be far, far bigger in magnitude, right? So I have to wrap my head around that, and so I have to really think about I have to really think about all sorts of scenarios that could possibly occur based on what kind of day it is. And sometimes that particular day does not arise until it happens, because whatever the information is feeding the market, I don't know about. Okay? But once I figure out what the market is doing, then I can figure out. Then oh, is that what happened? Right? So that's how that works. See, look at that. Wow. So what it did was, I was in here, it took all my money, dropped, and then came right back in a matter of what is this? In a matter of 1 hour. In a matter of 1 hour, when I placed a trade, it reversed on me, and then 1 hour later it came right back to where it was. Amazing. Wow. In 1 hour, what the market did was, it took everything, and then when I tried to do something about it, it just distorted my thinking, and then it just came back to the price that I originally entered into. And what it did was, did a circular loop and shook me. It just shook me out of the tree. Then I'm finding myself, what the heck happened? And that's what happened. So essentially, I was trading the range bound situation, and then it broke through the range, and then it went extremely to the other side just when I entered, and then it came right back to the point where I entered, and then I made subsequent trades through that, which caused me to lose everything. Right? So I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. I this is not easy. This is not easy. Trading is not easy. So I need to really, really now think about what I need to do. And the trading buddy that I have in North Carolina, now he's not even checking my text messages, okay? Because he knows that the way that I communicate may be interfering with his trading, because it causes emotional disturbance. It removes him from his zone by me providing information to him. So now I need to make sure I salvage this situation. Okay, I need to make sure that I salvage this situation. And so I've been talking about this. I've been thinking about this, and I need to really figure out what I need to do in order to make this successful. I cannot allow this type of situation to continue on and on and on and on. Okay, It's been 5 years, so I need to really buckle down and really, really think it over. I need to really think about what happened but there's so many scenarios. There's a lot of scenarios. So it's like a it's very similar to what chess does. In the beginning, everything is arranged, but when certain pieces are moved, all different types of scenarios could occur in a snapshot of the possibilities. And I just, wow, I just tossed out all these. I didn't have to do that. I just tossed it. It's so sad. It's gone. It's gone. I just lost all this. And every one of these losses are, they have to be done, they have to be made. It's a big deal. Every one of those losses, every one of these transactions are, in order for me to get it back, is at least a half an hour to an hour of work in order to recoup it. But I just wasted it. I just tossed it away. I just threw it away. It's such a waste kind of a situation. Yeah, that's a. It just happens when I lose control. It does that. It's sad. It's a very, very sad situation. It's very, very sad. Gotta figure something out though. And what I've noticed is that I'm not trading my setup. That's the problem. That's the problem. I am not trading my setup. I keep it's very, very odd because I am not trading my setup. I have to trade my setup. I can't be trading something else because it's there and I'm trying to latch onto it because it looks good. This big candle, this green candle pops up and I'm like, whoa. And then I look at the situation. I'm taking risks that are too big. So I can't be trading that way. It is a fortunate situation that I'm able to break this bondage of bondage of addiction that just kicks in at any time. Okay? Because it can be very, very costly. I can just punt it away. Like here, I could just go click lot here, lot here, lot that, and then it'll just reverse and I'll lose. So I need to make sure that I'm trading my setup instead of like trading something that looks good. Okay? So I need to work on I need to so this is great. The holidays are here. Uh and I pray to I pray to God Regis allows me to like keep working on here because I because there's I mean I got another 5 years. I have another 5 years I have to do something with. And may God be so kind. I mean, may God be so kind. And the restaurant that I work at, oh, I'm extremely fortunate. I pray that they're and I know that they're being very charitable and allowing me to work there, and so I'm grateful. I know I know that they're bending backwards to allow me to work there. I know that. I know that they're being charitable, so I appreciate it. And I'm so thankful that this car that I'm driving is still working. I'm so thankful this computer that I use is still working. Okay, I just almost blew it right there. I just almost blew it because I just lost temporarily. Just lost it temporarily. I just lost it. But fortunately for me, I caught myself. I caught myself from like blowing it away. Okay, any amount that I have, like chip in a chair, is still valid. So I'm rambling on, but that's the reality. And people who know how to, this is not easy. This is incredibly difficult. This is this is a very, very difficult occupation. It's a very, very difficult occupation. There's some honest YouTubers out there who like disclose things. They get into situations where they do, but then when they get it, they make a big they make a I mean they make a big payout out of it, right? Because they know. in most cases they're profitable. I can see that, but in certain situations they're like they can get into a funky situation. Even people who are more advanced than I am, right? And even like the trading buddy of mine, my interaction with him must be causing him to be displaced from his zone. I think that's what's happening. Okay, I think that's why. That's I think that's why. Uh, I think that's why he's quieted it down, subdued his communication with me. I think. Okay, so I have to really logically think about what my game is, and then I have to expand. I have to expand the type of skill sets that I have. Instead of being a one-dimensional or one-hit wonder, I have to develop these things that will allow me to be consistent. Okay, on a wide, on a handful of type of situations that I can use that to make profit. Okay, so that's I need to do that. If I don't do that, see, look at, I mean, I'm just looking at this situation here. It was moving sideways for an hour. Let's see, was it an hour? It was for 4 hours. It was moving sideways for 4 hours. Then I got in, okay, going long, on the bottom side, expecting that it's going to go up. Then it moved sideways for about 5 minutes, and then just slammed right through, and just moved against me, and I had to close it. And then I had this idea. Okay, so it's down. I need a short, but it popped back up, and I lost. And I started adding it, and I lost. And then it started to come back down. Okay. Fortunately for me, I did manage to make a little bit there on that area. But it could have been far worse. But I stopped myself. Okay. So so now I need to clearly define what trading really is. I need to clearly define what trading really is. It's hard to wrap my head around it. It's really it's really hard to wrap my head around it. Okay? It's time. It's time for me to really define. It's time to really define what I need to do. I'm probably a laughing stock right now. I know that I'm a laughing stock. Nobody believes me. I'm probably a laughing stock, and those who put me here are laughing their butt off and all that stuff. And people who are around me, although they think that, although although they mean well, although they mean well, really they're like, well, this guy, is he really gonna do it? Is he gonna make it? Uh, my own family, my own kids have given up on me because they know how hard it is. This is a hard thing to do. This is not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. It's not. It's not an easy thing. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Okay? So, I've imploded, and it happens. Implosions occur. Okay? It's a natural process. It's a natural thing that happens. Okay? I just got to catch myself doing it so that I don't do it. It's like digging myself into a deeper hole. See, look at this. Look at the way the market is doing. It goes up, it fakes you out, and then goes the other direction. That's today. It's been like that. I've been caught in it. It does that. So I have to trade. I have to trade the setup that I have, and I have to create conditions of, so 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 what, so trading. So now, by the way, this is just for me. I need to logically talk about this. I need to practice the way that I talk because I'm just here. I'm not even talking to anybody anyway. So I have to talk this out. So trading is, since I'm gonna just keep talking about, I'm gonna talk about. So trading is trading. So now I'm gonna expand upon what it is. And so when I write a software program, what I need to do is place in it a error catch function. Okay, it has to have an error catch function. If it doesn't have an error catch function, the program could malfunction later on down the road when it runs into an extraordinary condition. Okay, that's why there is an error catch function. So in trading, it's very similar way. It's very similar way because something else could happen, and I have to, I have to live with the fact that when I enter into the trade, that trade may not work, and so I have to really become aware. I see. I became. I thought I understood what stop loss is really supposed to be, but I'm still making the same mistake. So now I'm at 2%, and most likely the way that it works is that if I only have 2%, it'll essentially just erode. It'll erode. Okay, because it's very difficult. Because sometimes what I'll do is I'll draw down significantly before I make profit, but that is going to be a problem. Okay, so now I'm gonna really think about what trading is. So I look at a situation, and so why do I enter? Because I enter because I believe, I recognize, I see here's so I recognize what's going to happen. I recognize what's going to happen. And so when I recognize what's going to happen, that's the reason why I get in. Okay? So the recognition process of entering has a, see, I went this route, but I keep forgetting because it's so complex. When I wake up, I'm not thinking about this. When I'm sitting down, I'm not thinking about these things that I need to be thinking about when I enter into a trade, because because my mind is thinking of making numerous trades. But when I'm thinking about making numerous trades, it's not practicing all the things that are required in order to make a proper trade. So making a proper trade requires me to recognize that current situation. That current situation will evolve into a particular outcome, which I anticipate with a high degree of probability. Okay? That's my thinking when I recognize something. When I recognize something, if I don't recognize something, then it is not a high degree of probability because it's something that is either completely foreign, or I recognize it, but it's not haven't been fully vetted out because it could vary in a different way, right? It could be a 50-50 kind of situation. More so leaning towards, like, if it's a 50-50 situation, probably I don't want to be taking that trade, right? So I need to be thinking about, I have to recognize what that situation is. And do I really want to take that trade? Okay? Do I really want to trade? When something's been moving sideways for 4 hours and I enter a trade thinking that it's going to sustain itself, then my thinking may be incorrect because it's been doing that for quite a while, and it's probably time to break out. That's probably what's going on. That's probably what happened to me here. Okay? That's probably what happened. If I was stupid enough to keep holding on to this, my account would have been blown. At least I took a big loss and I got out of it. Okay? Wow. Today is a real trendy kind of a day. I mean, it is moving. It is, some of them are moving and some of them are not moving. But those that are moving are really moving today. Okay? And if I'm like me, who's caught in the wrong side, it could be a long day. So what I need to do, I have to make sure. So I have to make sure. This is very important, and this is something that I suppose it takes a lot of discovery. If I had a mentor who has a specific criteria for making trades to the specific type of trade that I want, then the mentor would be able to specifically provide what I need, right? specifically provide what I need. So when I see this trade, if I take this trade, so my thing, okay, so when I see this trade, with UJ, there's a green candle there. And I'm thinking, okay, so why is it holding there? The fact that it is holding there means that there is a resistance. It's holding, it's not moving, it's holding there. That means that it's hit the resistance. So when I get in with that green candle, it's going to reverse. Probably. So that's a 50-50 kind of a situation. But in this case, it just jumped up. So the reality is, so it could have gone that way or this way or whichever way, because it's an unknown. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to. I don't know how that trade is going to turn out. Okay, and because I was so upset that I started to like trade like crazy, but I caught myself, and I'm looking at this like 20, 35, 50, 70, 80, 100, 120, 150. Okay, 180. That's 210 right there. 210. I just gave away 210 right there. Yeah, I just gave away 210. Just like that. I just gave away 2% because I was trying to like scratch and try to get it out. I was trying to force it. So then what I need to do is I have to recognize what's going on. I have to sequentially think about what's going on. And this is if I don't take this very seriously, it's going to be another 5 years. So it's time to change. Okay? So I need to make sure that when I make the trade, there's this YouTube channel about this Canadian the trader, and she's talking about how she only takes one trade per day. Okay? And which means that when one trade is made, that trade has to be perfect. That trade has to be perfect because it has to align with everything that needs to align in order to take that trade. Otherwise, the trade doesn't exist. That's what I need to do. I have 2% left. That's the only way that I'm going to improve on it. And I can't take trades that are spur of the moment, which is essentially the wrong trade. Okay? That's the faster way of doing it. Making the right trade is a faster way of doing it instead of like forcing numerous trades, which is it's essentially like throwing massive amount of things in order to catch just one thing on the wall. But it is best to cultivate. It's the same thing as backtesting. Okay? I haven't done enough backtesting in order for me to like qualify as a profitable trader. That's why I'm suffering from this. I'm suffering because I'm losing because I haven't done enough backtesting. Now, backtesting requires a specific condition to be applied in the market that allows me to make the right decision, right? Okay, so, and some trades just it just probably takes a long time for the trade to like evolve and come to fruition. So the idea is to make about, based on here, I suppose what I need to do is make maybe, now that I'm at 2%, I need to risk less and make a little less until I start to accrue. Okay? And then as I start to accrue from 2% to 3% to 4% to 5%, then it's going to change the risk level that I'm taking. Okay? $66 is a lot of money, and I can't waste it. I don't want to waste it. It's a lot of money. I tossed away like previously 5 different 10K challenges before this challenge, and I just tossed it away. I can't do that. $66 is a lot of money. $66 is a lot of is a big expense. $66 is a big expense. And I pray to God that those around me will allow me in peace to continue this journey, because this is the only way out. The only thing that I see. This is the only thing that I see that will allow me to get to where I need to be. Okay? This is the only way. I am a 56-year-old. I'm like, I'm just talking to myself anyway. So I'm a 56 years old man, and I'm gonna be like 57 in a few months. And I know, because my employment has been sporadic, my Social Security won't be very big either. The money that I get from Social Security is not going to be big. And now I think it's like, what, 67 years old when I can fully get back what from the Social Security. So 67 years is going to be essentially about 12 to 13 years from now. So it's going to be about 12 to 13 years from now, and I'm going to be about 67 years. I'm going to be 67 years old when I retire. When I start collecting Social Security, and I can't be living in a car for another 12 years. Okay, I can't. I got to make this work. I have to break through. Once I get a couple payouts from this 10K, it's a breakthrough. I can apply the same strategy into my 50K and 100K, and that will provide me with some other means to find some sort of housing. Okay? Hopefully by then, the rent will be a lot less, so I can get into a. Right now, it's very difficult to get into it. So so that's the current situation right there. So now, so I am essentially in a very, very, very difficult situation. I am in a very, very difficult situation. I'm in a very, very difficult situation. Uh, I currently have approximately about 1,800 videos, YouTube videos, and I can't get a job anywhere. Okay, for a couple of things. One, I'm not qualified. I know it. I'm smart. I'm not. I'm smart, but I can't compete with smarter 20-year-olds doing the same work, because if I enter into the workforce, I'm going to be competing with entry level people who are far smarter. They think faster. I mean, they are far better than I am. Okay. So it'll be, and I'll be like out of place. I'm 56 years old, and I'll be sitting next to like 20-year-olds doing the same job, and they can work right around me. I mean, it's over. It's over for me, as there's no way for me to compete now. So I'm just being realistic. I'm just being realistic of what my current situation is. All right, and so so I have to make this work. This is the only thing that that's gonna help me get there. Okay, so so now so now I just lost control just today. I don't know why I lost control, but it does. It happens. It happens. It happens. I lost control. I lost control. I lost control right here. I lost control. I was at 5%, 5.5%. I was nearly at 5.5%, the same amount that I had yesterday. And then I started to go careening out of control, because I felt that I had to force it. I had to force the situation. but I can't force it. I have to look at it and say, okay, it's this setup, and I'm going to take it. And I have to specifically. This is very, very critical. I cannot make any trades without doing this. If I don't do this, it will be a big problem. It'll be another 5 years, and I can't do that. I can't be doing this for another 5 years. I'm an old man. I have a bum knee. I have a bad ankle, and my one of my eyes I can't see out of. So this is, and my car is like wearing down, and I can't even change the oil on it. And my computer is old, and I cannot continue doing this, but I have to continue doing this. But I have to make this work, and I have to really, really, really take it very, very seriously. I have to take it very, very seriously. These people, out of their goodness, is allowing me to be here doing this. So I have to take this very, very seriously. I have to take this very, very seriously. If I cannot, I cannot relax until I get to the point where I'm funded and I get a payout. I cannot be wasting my time infringing on myself. I'm shortchanging myself. I'm I'm doing harm to myself, but not by not giving a 100%. If I slide like this, it's not going to work. I have to make it work. I have to see if I was a if I was a mentor, okay, if I was a mentor of day trading, I would know exactly what to say to somebody. But I'm being a mentor to myself. I'm trying to lead the blind. Okay? Essentially, it's the blind leading the blind. Okay? I'm essentially the blind leading the blind. And see, I was like initially like 5 years ago, I was on this. Where was this? I was like, oh, oh yeah, I was on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I was trying to seek out people I can just figure out who the mentor is, but it was not easy. I couldn't find any mentors. And I told this guy, the one of them, I had this conversation with this one person, and then I told him, look, me and a trading buddy of mine don't know how to trade, but we're gonna figure this out. And then he chimed in and said, oh, leading the blind. Now, how is that going to work out? Well, 5 years later, uh, it didn't work out for me. It worked out for the other my trading buddy. He's doing great. He's making a lot of money, right? But he's trading using signals, but I'm trading something else. I'm trying to figure this out. So so if there was a mentor, then the mentor will know precisely everything that needs to be done in order to be profitable. But I'm essentially a blind leading the blind. So I have to take this very, very seriously. I cannot. So I have to. So this reminds me of like going to school. Really, this reminds me of going to school. The reason why I got C's is because I had so many distractions. I was watching TV without doing any homework or doing the project or anything like that. And so what I would do is I spend all my time watching TV. And then when it was time to do homework, I would allocate just a little bit of my time in order to do the homework. Okay? So essentially in trading, I could have had all these things all ironed out earlier by studying, actively studying, engaging, and learning as fast as possible, and cutting out all the distractions. And so I have to be militaristic. I have to be the staff sergeant. Okay? Uh, I have to be that sergeant who is a uh, what do you call those the sergeants who are like uh, recruits? the sergeants who are like really, really like uh, in the process of converting uh, a new entry into the military into a really disciplined, uh, yeah, really disciplined trader, really disciplined soldier, right? So so what I've noticed about is that for the past for the past about 6 months, I was like I was digging into what politics is, and I was like involved in like trying to learn as much as possible. I did learn something about politics, about human nature and things like that, but that's not what I need. Okay, I have to look for my future. My future requires me to be very, very um, disciplined. I have to be very, very disciplined, and I have to stick. I have to stick with it. Okay, I have to stick with it. I have to be, even if somebody, even if, even if something happens outside of me, and somebody thinks that I'm the dumbest person on this earth, I cannot allow that to detract me from what I need to do. And I cannot be. I have to learn to be a robot. I have to be a robot. I have to I have to condition myself to be a robot so that I can condition myself to get to the point where I can trade like a robot. So once I train myself to be a robot, then then I can then it'll be at a point where I am. That's probably why I was successful. That's probably why I was successful. Uh, that's probably why I was funded as a 5K at 5K. That's probably why. Because I was at a point where I had to make it work, and I was eating oatmeals, and I had a strict, very very strict discipline of saying, okay, so if I make this much, I'm stopping. That's what I said. Okay, but when funded accounts occurred, certain things rules did change, and so I was able to make some money, but but I was, but I failed because of this FOMC thing, and it trended out, and I wasn't able to like keep it going. So I have to be in a very very disciplined state of mind. Okay, that's how I was successful at a 5K. That's how I was able to pass the challenge. Then I was able to get a payout twice. Okay, that's how I was able to do that. But I had to be extremely disciplined. That was something that was missing for the past 3 or 4 months. And that's why I'm in this current situation, trying to regain that discipline. Discipline is extremely important as I am beginning to understand, as I'm beginning to discover what's going on. Right? So I gotta like at a 10K. I want to make this work. I don't. $66 is very very expensive. $66 is a lot of money. I don't have $66 that I can. That's $66. Okay, so that's $66 that I don't have. I don't want to waste it. Okay, I don't want to waste $66. So I have to make this work. Okay, I have to see it these days. I'm not going to the buffets. I'm even buffets. What I'm doing is even even buffets. What I'm doing is certain buffets are a little bit cheaper than the other buffets. Okay, and so now I'm opting to go with one type of buffet instead of going to the other buffet because it's half the price, even though I get the same amount of food or even more, right? So so the idea now is to regain because I do want to make contact with my kids. So that's the ultimate goal. And I'm not getting any younger. And although I sincerely appreciate Regis, they probably want me to be successful as well. Okay? They want me to be successful. So I want to be successful. That means I need to think about these scenarios that are present so that I can trade correctly. Without if I'm not trading correctly, see, I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, so should I just take this trade? Look, I'm looking at it here. I'm looking at it here. I'm looking at this green candle. I'm saying to myself, I'm going to take it. I'm going to go long. But that's wrong because I've never traded that way. Because I cannot be trading the candle. I have to trade the level. I'm too late. If I get in this trade, I'm too late. I need to be trading the levels here. That's too late. Anything can happen. I'm too late. So I need to be early in my trading. I have to be early and correct. I have to be early and correct. Right? And I don't want to be like going like massive lots. And that can only spell trouble. Look at this. Right there, exactly the point where I placed it. And it's a separation of, look at that. It's only a separation of an hour and a half. And it's right there. Wow. Amazing. So this is very, very important. $66. $66 is a big expense. Okay? I hope you got your, see, maybe one day when I become profitable, I will be a mentor to somebody. Okay? Maybe I will. But right now, I'm not there yet. But I want to be a mentor. I want to help at least one person. I met this pastor a long time ago. And then he said to me as he introduced me to the faith, the Christianity. As he introduced me to Christianity, he said this to me. This is the greatest moment of your life. That's what he said to me. And I can see that if someone shows an interest to be a mentor to somebody else and helps that single person become profitable, then to that person, this is the most important. This is the most important. This is the most important moment in your life. This is the most important moment in your life. Right? Right? This is the most important moment in your life. Yeah, it is. This is the most important moment of your life. That's what he said. And sure enough, discovering Christ, I began to become a more sophisticated human being. Because this great being fills me in, allows me to be who I am. And he brings me into existence. Whereas before, I was just an empty can. That is why this is the most important moment in your life. This is the most important moment in your life. A mentor is talking to you. A mentor is telling you these things that need to be worked on. Okay? It doesn't stop when I stop this video. It has to continue. It has to overflow to what I will need to do in order to make it work. Okay? So ideally speaking, a trade is this. Okay? A trade is this. Statistically, I'm going to have roughly about 80% win win uh, win win rate. I'm going to have an 80% win rate. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to within that 10, if I have take 10 trades, then I'm going to make 8 gains and I'm going to lose 2. But the 2 that I lose will be equal or less than the gains that I will make in the other 8 trades because the loss will be small. That's the ideal situation. Okay? All right? That's the ideal situation. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do on a daily basis. So if I take 10 trades, then I'm going to lose 2, but I'm going to win 8. But if it turns out that if I win all 10 times, that's even better, right? So that's the ideal situation as a just trader. That's what I need to do. Now the difficult part is how do I make that happen? How do I make that happen? I make that happen by watching what the chart is doing. And the chart, the price action is going to show me what it's going to do next. When it shows me what it's going to do next, only when it shows me what it's going to do next, I take the trade and I place strategically what I'm willing to lose. And I'm willing to gain, but I'm willing to compromise on the gain, not on the loss, but I'm willing to compromise on the gain. Okay? And I'm going to only make the trade when I see it. Okay? That means that in order for me to make the trade, then I would have to do the homework of understanding what that price action is showing. Okay? When that price action is showing, then I have to understand why it's doing that. Then I have to know how it's going to behave a little bit later. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to have some buffet today. All right, I'm going to pig out today because I need to. I barely have enough for a buffet, but I'm just going to go eat. I'm hungry. I want to eat something. Okay? Because I have to go to work today. So that means I'm looking at this situation, and I've studied Al Brooks, but I still don't understand because he's like light years away. I mean, this is the guy who's got a medical degree, who wrote several books, and he's teaching it, and he's practiced trading for many years, and he's way out there, and I still don't understand what he's teaching. I do understand some of it, but I don't understand everything. Okay, so now I need to. So I said this, right? So I need to only take a trade when I see something that I've already verified. Okay? I can only take the trade something that I've already verified because I know what happens. There's like fake outs that occurs because the fake outs occurs because in certain situations it does that, and because of the myriad of variability, uh, the same condition, same price action in different day behaves differently because it's a holiday. Even though it looks like that, it's going to behave differently because it's a holiday. The number of participants are going to be different. Okay? So now I am essentially being a mentor to myself. I am a mentor to myself. And I know best of me. I've seen it. I've taken datas on it. So I know me better than anybody else who knows me. Okay? So now I have prescribed what I need to do in order to be profitable in trading. Okay? This 2%, this $66 challenge account for the 10K is precious to me. So I need to make sure that I salvage this and then make it work. Quantity doesn't matter. quality work. Quality always matters. Quality always matters. If I have quality and quantity, that's great. But if I don't have quality and I have quantity, it's a losing situation, right? So when I look at these particular structures that I see, then I have to be able to anticipate what the next action is going to be, and only take the trade when that happens. So I need to make sure that I fully vet out all these situations so that I can take the trades properly, right? So when I look at certain things, and if it's moving sideways, I don't want to be taking the trade. That's one. So when it's moving, so when it's moving, it goes up and it goes down below it. Then I have to know what it's going to do next, so that I can anticipate what's going to happen next, right? So that's the type of trading that I need to do. That's the type of conditioning that I need to set up in order to take the trade. I can't be just taking the trade and say, "Oh, it looks good. Look at that," because chances are I'm going to be incorrect. So I would say that this is probably the greatest moment of my life right now. This is the greatest moment of my life because I am a mentor to myself. I was leading, essentially, I was the blind leading the blind. See, this side I'm blind. I am essentially, and this is seeing, the blind leading the seeing. I am essentially a blind leading the blind. And it took me down to 2% to figure it, because I was like beaten down. And then finally, something happened to me to cause this emotional stress to come out and just cause me to lose. There's no need for that. So essentially, so now continue on this. There's see, if it's moving sideways, it's going to be like it's going to be like this, and if it's wide, then I can take the trade. But if it's narrow like this, I can't take the trade because it's moving sideways. When it's moving up, it's moving in a certain way, then I have to figure out how it's moving so I can take that trade. If it's moving down, then I have to figure out how it's moving so I can take the trade. So there are various things that I need to identify so that I can take appropriate trade. So in this case, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this price. Although it's moving, I cannot take the trade because I don't know what's going to happen next. I can't take the trade. If I know what's going to happen, then I can put some size in it and take the trade. But I don't know what's going to happen. Even here, I don't know what's going to happen here on UC. It's down, it's moving sideways. I see some green candles, but the fact that it is in the mud, in the mud, I can't take the trade because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't see it. I don't see what's going to happen. Even here, something that I threw everything out. Look at that. I just tossed it in there. It's like, I don't want to do that. I have to make sure that every trade that I make is a conscious trade. And I know that it's going to happen. And I can't be hard on myself either. I'm not hard on myself now because I know that happens. It's a psychological blip. Okay? Now I'm explaining everything. And things are starting to make sense. Okay? It does make sense. And I just lost control. And I just blew it. I lost control because I wanted to I was trying to chase it. Even though I was it's like a mirage. I was chasing a mirage. Because even though the price looked good, it was something else. And I was willing to risk a huge sums in order to gamble. That's not good. In order to gamble, I was willing to take a huge risk. I am willing to take a calculated trade with a risk, but I can't be risking huge for a gamble. I can't do that. So I would say that this is the greatest moment of my life right now. I know what I need to do, and I will do it. And let's see if I can salvage this. I'm down to like 2%. Let's see if I can salvage this with a plan that I plan. I know that I can't risk it all because that's not the right way of doing it. So when I'm down like this, what I need to do is I need to preserve it as long as possible. So I need to take high quality trades so that I can trade it at least 10 times. At least 10 times. So with 2%, that's $20. So I can risk $20 to make about 20 to $25, or maybe $10 or something like that. Okay? And then as I start to build up, then if I make five to 10 good trades, I'll be at maybe 3%. And then if I make another 5 to 10 good trades, there'll be another at 4%. Right? So that's how it's going to be.